the fan-proclaimed queen of retellings, I love putting dark and unexpected twists on the fairy tales, the legends, the lore that we love to read and grew up with. But I also only create my retellings when I have a massive twist, which means I'm looking for things that people aren't doing. Cinderella is so overdone, and Sleeping Beauty and Snow White, they're overdone, and so unless I find a major twist to them, I'm not going to tackle those stories, which means especially early in my retellings career, I was looking for stories that were not told a lot, which is why my debut novel was a Goldilocks retelling, and why my next retelling was actually a nursery rhyme. So I was looking at things that we grew up with that I could twist and change and reshape that story from what we thought we knew into something we didn't know at all. And I loved looking at things that we grew up with. So I was looking for stories that were lesser done. They were not as well known, and I looked at nursery rhymes, and boy did I involve a lot inside of this. Now the main story for Along Came a Spider in the Legends Chronicles is Little Miss Muffet. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds, and along came a spider and sat down beside her and frightened Miss Muffet away. And I changed it into what it is today, but I also implemented other nursery rhymes. So if you're paying attention to this series, you're gonna notice Little Bo Peep, you're gonna notice Little Boy Blue, you're going to notice Thumbelina, you're gonna notice some things, and yes, I have not confirmed her identity yet. This is actually the first time I've told you who she is, but you know, if you've been paying attention, there you go, there's a little bonus for today. And I wanted to retell the Little Miss Muffet story. So why was she frightened away? Why was she afraid of this spider? I don't like to do animals in my stories, because when there's animals, bad things happen. And I always twist things up. So I wanted Muffet, my Little Miss Muffet, to not be this little girl who's kind of prissy and just like runs away at things. I didn't want that. I wanted her to be sassy, and I wanted her to be brave, and I wanted her to be bold, and I wanted her to have a lot of personality. So Little Miss Muffet here is a computer hacker. She wears pink plaid and rocker t-shirts and like pigtails, and she will kick your butt. She is a person who is not going to take any of your sass. You will not be able to talk back to her. She's gonna take you on. And I loved being able to tell her story. But as someone with a very strong personality, she's going to need someone to go up against her. Her enemy here is going to be Spider. Spider happens to be a new recruit to their hacker group, and he forces himself along on this mission, and he might be a double agent, he might be a triple agent, we don't know, we find out. But he has to be able to withstand her. So because Muffet has such a strong personality, Spider also has to have a very strong personality, and I wanted them to butt heads. I didn't want them to get along because Muffet is not somebody who gets along with a lot of people. It takes time to warm up to her and for her to warm up to you. And so she's comfortable with her best friend, Bo Peep, who is the leader of their group and has now been kidnapped inside of the story, and she has to go rescue her. She's comfortable with a lot of the people that she works with, but that took time, and a lot of trust was built between them for her to then be accepting of them. And she still gives them all a really hard time. Like, she is not an easy person to get along with, even if she is your friend. And so I needed Spider to have a big personality. So he very much does. He is the guy version of her. His outfits are very different. He loves his dark leather and his dark jeans, and like he has long hair on one side and short hair on the other side. He wears those leather gloves, and like he's willing to take you on, and he's not going to take her nonsense, and she is not going to take his nonsense. So he loves to get under her skin and just really annoy her, and she can't stand him, and I just love the dynamic between the two of them. They're exceptionally strong personalities, which in the future will lead to a lot of relationship problems, which makes for great stories. You're welcome. But I loved being able to have these two butt heads as we did this. And so I was looking at this original nursery rhyme, and the spider sat down beside her and frightened her away. So I had to have a reason for him to insert himself into her life. So she's over here doing her thing. He is now inserting himself into her life, and he needs to cause enough chaos that she is going to second guess who he is and what's going on. So originally, when the story starts, he's forcing his way on this mission. She doesn't want him there. She doesn't like him. Somewhere along the line, she has to start trusting him a little bit because he's working with her. He is her backup. She doesn't have anybody else to rely on for this, so she has to start trusting him a little bit, but all of a sudden we start to see things are changing, and maybe she should not have given him that trust quite as easily as she did. So now we get to go through the story where, are they working together? Is he working against her? Is he a double agent? Is he a triple agent? Is he not an agent at all? What is going on? And we have to figure this out as we go. And I love being able to tell the story of this really strong computer hacker who is going to take charge and break down all the walls and save her best friend and do all of the things, and this annoying little spider of a man gets in her way and causes all the problems, and she has to squish him while also squishing the people who are kidnapping her boss slash best friend and trying to destroy the country and take over all the computers, and like there's a lot going on here. So I love looking at that nursery rhyme and then being able to implement the other nursery rhymes. So Little Bo Peep, we had Thumbelina, Little Boy Blue, we had all of these different characters who, if you pay attention and if you like really look closely, you can figure out who these other nursery rhymes are. But I took all of the nursery rhymes and kind of shoved them into this world of being computer hackers and gave them all life and gave them all a story. So it was a very interesting take on a nursery rhyme, and I hadn't seen anybody, to this day I don't think I've seen anybody take on nursery rhymes for retellings, and I love it because nobody does it, but everybody knows them. Everyone knows the nursery rhymes, so why not? I would love to see more nursery rhymes. If you're writing a nursery rhyme retelling, please tell me. I want to support you. I love it. It makes me so happy that people are branching out, not just doing Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and Snow White all the time. We're getting these new and interesting stories and these twisted takes on things that we grew up with. If you've got questions about writing nursery rhymes as retellings, drop those down below and hit the subscribe and notification bell, because every single week I'm bringing you brand new videos, bringing you behind the scenes of my stories, and I want to know which story should I talk about next, and bring you a behind the scenes story or secret that I have not talked about yet, but I would love to share about all of my tales. You know, I've got lots of stories that are retellings and not retellings, so you've got a ton of options. Let me know in the comments below, hit the subscribe and notification bell, and then watch through the Legends Chronicles playlist, because I've got all sorts of fun things and bonus scenes hidden around the internet. If you're loving this, you can actually grab copies of those. This one's free right now. By the way, P.S., you're welcome. And you can check out more in all of those videos below. I'll see you in the next one.